In the relentless rhythm of modern life, where notifications ping and demands clamor for our attention, isn't there a quiet voice within each of us yearning for respite? A space, perhaps, where the external noise fades, and a sense of inner calm can finally take root? Imagine stepping away from the digital whirlwind, not to escape to a far-off retreat, but to find that sanctuary blooming right in your own backyard. This is the promise held within the gentle embrace of a Zen garden, an invitation to cultivate tranquility not as a luxury, but as a daily practice, readily accessible just beyond your doorstep. More than just aesthetically pleasing arrangements of rocks and sand, a Zen garden is a carefully curated space imbued with the power to transform. It is a tangible pathway to mindfulness, a place designed to soothe the overstimulated mind and reconnect us with the grounding rhythms of nature. In a world that often feels frantic and fragmented, the simple elegance of a Zen garden offers a counterpoint, a gentle reminder of the peace that resides within stillness. This video is your guide, a gentle hand leading you through the process of creating your own personal Zen garden oasis at home. We'll explore not just the how-to, but the why, delving into the essence of this tranquil art form and empowering you to craft a space that nurtures your well-being from the ground up. Welcome, dear viewers, to Blooming Grounds. Here, we believe in the profound connection between our inner landscapes and the natural world around us. We are dedicated to exploring ways to cultivate mindful living and create sanctuaries that nourish the spirit. Join us as we embark on this journey to transform your backyard into a tranquil oasis, one mindful element at a time, and discover the enduring peace that blooms when we nurture both our spaces and ourselves. Let's delve into the heart of the Zen garden, moving beyond the simplistic image of carefully raked sand and strategically placed rocks. While these visual elements are undeniably present, to truly appreciate the essence of a Zen garden, we must understand that it is far more than just a decorative landscaping style. It is an art form deeply rooted in philosophy and spirituality, a physical manifestation of principles that reach far beyond mere aesthetics. Often, when we first encounter images of Zen gardens, our minds might categorize them as minimalist rock gardens, perhaps even associating them with a certain starkness or severity. This initial perception, however, only scratches the surface of a much richer and more nuanced tradition. To truly grasp the soul of a Zen garden, we must journey back to its origins, tracing its lineage to Zen Buddhism and the practices of mindfulness cultivated within monastic settings. These gardens, born from centuries of contemplative tradition, were never intended as mere ornamental features. Instead, they were conceived as carefully designed environments to facilitate meditation and introspection. They are, in essence, three-dimensional koans, puzzles for the mind to unravel, not through logic, but through quiet contemplation and sensory awareness. The very act of being within a Zen garden, of allowing our gaze to rest upon its carefully arranged elements, is intended to draw us into a state of mindful presence, away from the incessant chatter of our everyday thoughts. Therefore, it's crucial to understand that a Zen garden is not simply about arranging pretty rocks and patterns in the sand. It is fundamentally about creating a space for inner stillness. It's a sanctuary designed to foster contemplation, to encourage a meditative state, and to provide a refuge from the distractions of the external world. The seemingly simple arrangement of elements within a Zen garden holds a profound symbolic language. Each carefully chosen rock, each meticulously raked line in the sand, is imbued with meaning, representing aspects of the natural world and deeper philosophical concepts. Rocks can symbolize mountains, islands, or even abstract concepts like strength and stability. The sand, when raked into fluid patterns, evokes the movement of water, representing flow, change, and the interconnectedness of all things. It is this intentionality, this mindful curation, that truly distinguishes a Zen garden from any other type of garden design. Every element is placed with purpose, not for random visual appeal, but to contribute to the overall atmosphere of tranquility and contemplation. The emptiness, the deliberate sparseness of planting, and the careful arrangement of inanimate objects all contribute to a sense of serene stillness. It is in this carefully orchestrated simplicity that the true power of the Zen garden resides. It is a space that invites us to slow down, to quiet our inner dialogue, and to simply be present with the subtle beauty of nature's quiet language. The simplicity of a Zen garden is not a void, but rather an invitation. It is an invitation to turn inward, to explore the landscapes of our own minds in a space that mirrors the calm and uncluttered nature we seek within. By stripping away the unnecessary and focusing on essential elements, the Zen garden encourages introspection and fosters a deeper connection not only with the natural world but also with our own inner landscape. It is in this quietude, within this thoughtfully designed microcosm, that we can begin to cultivate a sense of lasting tranquility and discover the profound peace that resides within stillness. Transitioning from understanding the deeper meaning of a Zen garden, we now turn our attention to the practical artistry of crafting your own tranquil oasis. Creating a Zen garden is not about blindly imitating existing examples. It's about understanding and embodying a set of core design principles that guide the process, allowing you to create a space that resonates with the spirit of Zen while being uniquely your own. These principles are not rigid rules, but rather guiding philosophies that inform every design decision, from the placement of the largest rock to the gentle raking of the sand. By internalizing these principles, you move beyond mere replication and step into the role of a mindful creator, actively shaping a sanctuary of peace. At the heart of Zen garden design lies the principle of simplicity. This is not simplicity in the sense of being plain or uninteresting, but rather a refined elegance achieved through thoughtful reduction. It is about stripping away the superfluous, eliminating clutter, and focusing on the essential elements that contribute to the overall feeling of tranquility. This principle manifests in the limited palette of materials, the restrained use of planting, and the emphasis on uncluttered space. Simplicity in a Zen garden invites the eye to rest, the mind to settle, and allows the subtle beauty of each element to be fully appreciated without distraction. It is through this carefully curated simplicity that a sense of profound peace begins to emerge. Closely intertwined with simplicity is the principle of naturalness, often expressed through the concept of kanso in Japanese aesthetics. This principle urges us to embrace the inherent beauty of natural materials and forms, avoiding artificiality or overly manicured appearances. In a Zen garden, rocks are chosen for their raw, unworked textures and shapes, sand and gravel are used in their natural tones, and planting, when included, is selected for its understated elegance rather than vibrant colors or elaborate forms. The aim is to create a space that feels as though it has organically emerged from the landscape itself, fostering a sense of harmony with the natural world. This naturalness extends beyond just materials. It also encompasses the way elements are arranged, often mimicking natural landscapes in miniature form. Another fundamental principle is asymmetry, or fukinsei. While Western garden design often prizes symmetry and balanced arrangements, Zen gardens embrace the beauty of the irregular and the asymmetrical. This is not to say that Zen gardens are haphazard or unbalanced, but rather that their balance is dynamic and subtle, arising from the interplay of unequal elements. Asymmetry reflects the natural world, where perfect symmetry is rare and where beauty often resides in the subtle variations and organic forms. This principle encourages a more dynamic and engaging visual experience, inviting the eye to explore and discover new relationships between elements with each shift in perspective. It also mirrors the constantly changing nature of life itself, a subtle reminder that balance is often found not in rigid symmetry, but in the fluid interplay of opposing forces. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the overarching principle guiding all aspects of Zen garden design is serenity, or saijaku. The ultimate goal is to create a space that exudes a profound sense of peace and tranquility, an atmosphere conducive to meditation and quiet contemplation. Every element, every design decision, should contribute to this overarching feeling of serenity. From the muted color palette to the gentle textures, from the quiet rustle of bamboo to the soft patterns raked in the sand, all aspects of the garden are orchestrated to create an environment that calms the senses and soothes the mind. It is this pervasive sense of serenity that truly defines the Zen garden experience, offering a sanctuary from the stresses of daily life and a pathway to inner peace. Within the framework of these principles, specific elements are employed to embody the Zen aesthetic. Rocks, often considered the bones of the Zen garden, are carefully chosen and arranged to represent mountains, islands, or even abstract concepts like strength and resilience. Their placement is crucial, not just for visual appeal but also for creating visual flow and directing the gaze. Sand or gravel acts as the water of the garden, its surface meticulously raked into patterns that evoke the ripples of water, the currents of a stream, or the vastness of the ocean. These patterns are not static decorations but rather dynamic expressions of movement and change, constantly being reshaped and renewed. Minimalist planting, often incorporating moss, ferns, bamboo, or understated ground covers, is used sparingly to add subtle texture and life without disrupting the overall sense of serenity. Plants are selected for their quiet beauty, their resilience, and their ability to thrive in shaded or minimalist conditions, mirroring the understated elegance of the garden as a whole. Beyond the tangible elements, the concept of negative space, or Ma, is also integral to Zen garden design. Ma refers to the beauty of emptiness, the intentional voids and spaces left uncluttered within the design. These empty spaces are not merely absences, but rather active elements that allow the eye to rest, the mind to wander, and the surrounding elements to breathe. Ma provides visual pauses, enhancing the appreciation of what is present and allowing for a deeper sense of spaciousness and tranquility. Similarly, the principle of shakiai, or borrowed scenery, encourages the integration of elements from the surrounding landscape into the garden design. This might involve framing a distant mountain view, incorporating the shade of a nearby tree, or reflecting the colors of a neighboring building in the garden's palette. Shakiai blurs the boundaries between the garden and its environment, creating a sense of expansive space and deepening the feeling of natural integration and belonging within the larger landscape. Having explored the design principles that form the foundation of a Zen garden, we now turn to the deeply rewarding hands-on journey of bringing your tranquil oasis to life. Creating a Zen garden is not simply a construction project. It is an act of mindful creation, a process that in itself can be deeply meditative and grounding. From the initial planning stages to the ongoing nurturing of your garden, each step offers an opportunity to engage with the principles of Zen and deepen your connection with the tranquil space you are bringing into being. This section will guide you through the practicalities of building and maintaining your Zen garden, emphasizing the mindful engagement that transforms these tasks into a pathway to serenity. The first step on this hands-on path is thoughtful planning and preparation of your backyard space. Careful site selection is crucial. Consider areas that offer a degree of natural tranquility. Perhaps a corner of your yard that is slightly removed from high-traffic areas, or a space that already has a naturally calming atmosphere. Observe the sunlight patterns throughout the day, noting areas of shade and sun. While Zen gardens are often associated with shade, some sunlight can be beneficial for certain minimalist plantings like moss. Think about drainage. A site that naturally drains well will simplify your construction process and prevent waterlogging. Once you have chosen your location, the next step is clearing the area. Remove any existing vegetation, debris, or obstacles that might hinder your garden's creation. This act of clearing the space is not just practical. It is symbolically significant, representing the clearing of mental clutter and preparing a clean slate for tranquility to take root. With your site prepared, the next stage involves sourcing your materials. Selecting the right rocks, sand or gravel, and minimalist plants is essential to capturing the authentic Zen aesthetic. When choosing rocks, prioritize natural, unworked stones that resonate with you aesthetically. Consider varying sizes, shapes, and textures to create visual interest, remembering the principle of asymmetry. Explore local sources for rocks, perhaps from landscape suppliers or even natural areas, while always being mindful of ethical and legal considerations regarding collecting natural materials. For sand or gravel, opt for natural tones and textures that evoke a sense of serenity. Fine gravel is often preferred for its ease of raking and its visual texture. Again, explore local suppliers for cost-effective and environmentally conscious sourcing. When selecting plants, remember the principle of minimalist planting. Mosses, ferns, certain types of bamboo, and understated ground covers are excellent choices. Prioritize plants that thrive in your local climate and require minimal maintenance. further emphasizing the simplicity and naturalness of your garden. Whenever possible, consider sourcing materials locally, supporting local businesses and reducing your environmental footprint, aligning your garden creation with principles of harmony and sustainability. The arrangement of these key elements is where your artistic vision truly comes into play. Rock placement is often considered the most crucial aspect of Zen garden construction. Approach rock arrangement with a sense of mindful deliberation. Consider the perspectives from which your garden will be viewed and experiment with different arrangements before settling on a final composition. Think about creating visual flow, leading the eye through the garden with carefully placed rocks that suggest landscapes in miniature. Once your rocks are in place, spread your chosen sand or gravel evenly across the garden area. The act of raking the sand is more than just a maintenance task. It is a meditative practice in itself. Using a specialized rake, create flowing patterns in the sand that evoke water or natural textures. Experiment with different raking techniques to discover patterns that resonate with you and enhance the overall tranquility of your garden. When incorporating plants, arrange them mindfully to complement the rocks and sand, adding subtle texture and life without overwhelming the minimalist aesthetic. Remember to leave ample negative space, allowing the elements to breathe and enhancing the sense of spaciousness and contemplation. The creation of your Zen garden is not a one-time project but rather the beginning of an ongoing relationship. Maintenance is not a chore but an integral part of the Zen garden practice, a form of mindful engagement that deepens your connection with the space. Regularly raking the sand is essential, not just for maintaining the visual aesthetic but also as a form of moving meditation. The rhythmic act of raking, focusing on the patterns you create and the feeling of the rake in your hand, can be incredibly calming and centering. Weeding, when necessary, should be approached with the same mindful attentiveness. Rather than seeing weeds as unwanted invaders, consider the act of weeding as a quiet act of contemplation, carefully removing elements that detract from the overall harmony of your garden. Gentle pruning of any plant should be approached with the same attentive care, shaping and guiding growth in a way that enhances the overall serenity of the space. Through these ongoing acts of maintenance, you transform the physical upkeep of your Zen garden into a continuous practice of mindfulness, deepening your connection with the tranquil oasis you have created and further nurturing your own inner peace. The hands-on path of building and nurturing a Zen garden is thus not just about creating a beautiful space, but about cultivating a mindful practice that integrates tranquility into your daily life. Having poured intention and effort into building your Zen garden, you've not only sculpted a beautiful space, but also unlocked a powerful portal to tranquility that extends far beyond the garden's physical boundaries. The true transformation lies not just in the aesthetic shift of your backyard, but in the subtle yet profound ways your Zen garden begins to permeate your daily life, influencing your mindset and fostering a deeper sense of inner peace that resonates throughout your entire being. Your garden becomes more than just a visual sanctuary. It evolves into a living invitation to embrace tranquility as a fundamental aspect of your lifestyle, a constant reminder to pause, breathe, and reconnect with stillness even amidst the most demanding of days. One of the most direct ways to harness the tranquility of your Zen garden is to actively integrate it into your mindfulness practices. Carve out moments in your day to intentionally step into your garden, not just to admire its beauty, but to truly be within it. Use this space for seated meditation, allowing the garden's serene atmosphere to deepen your practice. The gentle textures, the quiet rustle of leaves if you have bamboo, the subtle scent of moss after a rain. All these sensory details can become anchors for your awareness, grounding you in the present moment and drawing you away from racing thoughts. Even simple mindfulness exercises, like focusing on your breath while slowly raking the sand or observing the play of light and shadow across the rocks, can transform mundane moments into opportunities for mindful engagement and inner quietude. Your Zen garden becomes a dedicated sanctuary for cultivating these essential practices, making tranquility not an abstract ideal, but a tangible, accessible experience. The consistent presence of a Zen garden in your home environment naturally fosters improved mental and emotional well-being. In moments of stress or overwhelm, your garden offers an immediate refuge, a readily available sanctuary to decompress and recenter. Simply spending time in the garden, even for a few minutes, can have a remarkable calming effect. The visual simplicity reduces overstimulation, the natural elements ground your senses, and the overall atmosphere encourages a slowing down of pace, both physically and mentally. Over time, this regular exposure to tranquility can contribute to a more resilient emotional state, helping you to navigate daily stressors with greater equanimity and cultivate a deeper sense of inner stability. Your Zen garden essentially becomes a personal well-being retreat, accessible whenever you need a moment to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your inner resources of peace and calm. Ultimately, your Zen garden serves as a continuous, gentle invitation to slow down and cultivate inner peace within the busyness of modern life. It becomes a visual mantra, a constant reminder to seek moments of stillness, to appreciate the beauty of simplicity, and to find tranquility even in the midst of chaos. As you move through your day, carrying the memory of your garden's serenity with you, you may find yourself more attuned to moments of quietude that might have previously gone unnoticed, a pause between tasks, a moment of sunlight streaming through a window, the simple act of breathing deeply. Your Zen garden, in essence, trains your senses to recognize and appreciate these subtle moments of peace, gradually weaving tranquility into the fabric of your everyday experience. It encourages you to extend the principles of Zen beyond the garden gate and to cultivate a more mindful, peaceful approach to all aspects of your life. As we conclude this journey into creating your Zen garden oasis, we at Blooming Grounds encourage you to embrace the profound transformation it offers. Your Zen garden is more than just landscaping. It is an investment in your well-being, a commitment to nurturing mindful living, and a testament to the power of natural sanctuaries to enrich our lives. Let your garden be a continuous source of inspiration, reminding you to cultivate inner peace amidst the external world, to find moments of stillness in the everyday, and to bloom, just like the grounds we cherish, in a state of tranquil and mindful being. Welcome the peace you have cultivated, and allow it to blossom throughout your life's journey.